Hey, what's up, Hans family? Today I am bringing you Miss Peregrine from Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I am partnering with Fox to bring you this makeup look, so this is a sponsored video. I chose to infuse her normal appearance with that of a peregrine falcon to bring that bird element to life. I hope you guys like this peculiar look, and let's get started. First, we want to start off with a clean face, and I am going to be using Makeup Forever's foundation stick all over my face for my base. I like to do this in downward buffing motions just so that I get a nice and even blend. Miss Peregrine is pretty pale, so for the highlighting portion of this, we're going to be mixing the NARS Creamy Concealer and Makeup Forever's Clown White Cream Paint. I'm starting off by just putting the concealer in the high points of my face and over any acne spots I have flaring up, and then using the white cream paint on top of my brush to blend this out. This will basically mix the two together so that I get a very, very light foundation shade. To contour out her face, I'm using Breakup Contour Powder by Makeup GEEK. This is because it's a very cool tone shade, so it will mimic the shadows naturally. If you go too warm, it'll look a little more sun-kissed, and we just want to carve out our cheekbones for this look. Her hair is really dark in the movie, so I'm going to be using NYX's Brow Pencil in black. Extend the tail of the brow a little longer than your own if your brows are like mine and kind of short, just because hers are very nice and long. Onto the eyes, I will be using this Kat Von D Monarch palette for the entire look, starting out with this skin tone shade and just buffing this all over my lid as our first transition shade so that our eyeshadows will blend nicely on top. Switching to this light matte taupe, putting this all over the crease, kind of starting to create the little bit of a V shape on the outer corner, and also bringing it to our lower lash line. Her eye look is very cat-like in the way that it's elongated and angular. So using that black and brown together from this palette, we're going to start creating that outer V shape and really elongating it all the way to the tail of our brow. Basically, you want to put a little bit of pigment down and then use a larger fluffy brush to blend that outwards. Exaggerate that shape as much as possible and keep going in with more pigment to slowly blend out so you get a nice gradient. Now that our lids are nice and smoky, use a little bit of that black eyeshadow to extend down in our lower lash line and bring a more cat eye wing into the inner corner. Kat Von D's Tattoo Liner will be the liner that we do use to create our wing. It's awesome because it does have a felt tip. Those are my favorite to do wing liners with. I start by creating the first line and then drawing out the entire outline of the wing, then just filling in. And this is the moment that everything changed. When you make a mistake, either you have to roll with it or you clean it up. I just rolled with it, made my liner a little thicker, and now the hard part, making our other side exactly identical, or somewhat. Add a little bit of black pencil in the waterline and smoke that downwards with a brush. I went with some really dramatic PC lashes for this look. I put them on with tweezers and pop them down in the middle, secure the outer edge, and then secure the inner edge afterwards. Since I was inspired by a Peregrine Falcon for Miss Peregrine, because she does turn into one, I wanted to use this felt tip liner to give kind of a bird effect out of the eyes. I did this with little flicks of the liner. If you're very soft with your pressure, you can get little tiny lines. And I did this all in the direction outward of my eye because this also to me signifies movement. When I think of a bird, I obviously think of feathers, and the second thing I think of is movement, so I wanted to bring those two together into this eye look. I kept the lines a little thicker right near my eye and my liner. Then I grabbed the gems that I did pick up at Michael's, which are kind of a smoky gray and black, and you want to dot on some adhesive. Anything will work. You could use eyelash glue or spirit gum. Prosade would be a little intense for this, you don't really need that. And I started by putting the smoky gray ones out towards the outer edges just because I wanted the black to be intense right near my eye. There were two different sizes, so I put a difference of larger ones and smaller ones all next to each other. And I did decide that I wanted even more in the area of my eye, so I added more black. Just basically make it look very clustered around your eye and start to slowly cascade outwards. To fill in some of the gaps, I did add some black glitter so it was just nice and thick right around my eye. Don't be scared to just layer and layer and layer. For the lips, I did go with an extremely pale shade. This is from Makeup Monsters and it's called Muddled, and it is a liquid lipstick, so it will dry completely matte. I do overline, so I used my little overlining trick and put a little bit of translucent powder on my Cupid's bow just to hide that. On to our feather collar. I did add Prozade for this, but you could use, again, the adhesive that you did use for the gems earlier. And we want to work from the bottom to the top. We want this to be a layered look. So I am going to just layer feathers at the bottom, starting with all different colors. I have blue, brown, black. I kind of wanted a nice dimension of feathers, and then I put more Prozade right under my jawline and did a second layer of feathers laying on top. Make sure to cut off the tops of the feathers so you don't poke yourself at all, because they can be a little stiff and sharp when you do move your neck around. Once all of your feathers are layered, you may have a few missing patches of your skin still showing, so I took that black eyeshadow from the Kat Von D palette and just filled those in. I also did dot it up a little bit onto my face and chin, just to show that the collar was starting to rise up onto my face. And then I dotted on some more adhesive and put more gems to bring it all together. Mostly, again, working in clusters. I clustered them right toward the feather and had them cascade nicely onto my face. That is the entire tutorial, you guys. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to check out Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children when it hits theaters on September 30th. If you do recreate this, please use the hashtag StayPeculiar so I can see your looks, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!